Good morning. Welcome. Today is Wednesday, January 7th, day 5 of a 5-day sprint. I didn't make a big deal about the sprint thing. I just thought I'm going to show up 5 days in a row and we're going to get some work done. That's all. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Angela. I am a software engineer and a front-end developer in St. Paul, Minnesota. On this channel, we practice vanilla. We are not anti-framework or library. We understand that those things are important. The whole point here is to just practice and learn the basics. I had another comment, and I don't mind these comments at all because they're not personal. I don't feel like I'm being personally attacked, but I didn't get another comment on one of my shorts this week. Something, I don't know if it was just like typos or English as a second language, I'm not sure, but the gist of it is vanilla is pointless because AI will easily take that over. Okay, I think we all know that those are the words of somebody who doesn't actually do the work. And I love getting comments like that because it's just a chance for me to clap back at them. And I just said, you are wrong. With an attitude like that, AI will easily replace you. It's that simple. I believe that. And you know what? If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I've been using ChatGPT pretty steadily over the last couple of years. And I feel like every couple of months I hear this. In 6 months, developers won't even be needed. We won't even need people to write code anymore. It'll all be AI. In the next 12 months, developer, that won't even exist as a job. And I've been hearing that for 2 years, and I don't see that happening at all. So here we are. Listen, I have no regrets starting a YouTube channel and focusing on vanilla. None whatsoever. And I don't see anything in the last couple of years that shows me that AI is taking over anything. AI is a tool. It's going to be like any tool. It's like the Industrial Revolution. It's going to be like any tool that brings progress and moves us forward. I think the expectation for developers, in all seriousness, is going to be that they will be expected to work smarter, quicker, more efficient. They will be expected to produce more efficient code more quickly because they have these tools at their disposal. Doesn't mean that vanilla is not important or that we don't still need to actually know how to do the work, right? So I know I'm right. That's a rhetorical question. I don't need you to tell me I'm right. I already know I'm right. So, okay. Rahul is here from Nepal. Rahul is one of our mods. Hello. Hope you all are well. I am well. I'm also a bit cranky today, so don't be shocked by anything that you hear come out of my mouth because when I'm cranky, it's harder for me to censor what I'm thinking. So, Go Elmo is here. Formerly, Go Elmo Go. Currently, Malik Robinson, also a mod in the chat. Happy final day of sprint. Yes, I think that's why I'm cranky because it's day 5. Although, I'm so pleased with the work that we got done. I mean, come on. I am so proud of this project. I love all of my projects, but I love this project just a little bit more. Yeah. Thank you, Rahul. AI slop everywhere. Dev will be needed. I'm really starting to notice AI slop in Instagram Reels. So I'm not on TikTok because I already waste enough time on Reels. And I don't know, I'm just going to go ahead and say it as a Gen Xer, Reels kind of fits me a little bit better. The more time I spend on Reels, the easier it's getting for me to spot AI slop in terms of like short, like vertical short videos. It's staggering. I hope my thought is like, oh, I hope other people aren't falling for this, except I think we all know that they are falling for it. It's very sad. Yeah, and there's just AI slop everywhere. So, I'm not worried. And I love to worry. I love to worry. I love to be paranoid and sit around worrying, although I don't do it as much these days as I used to. I'm not worried at all. Not even a little bit. Because I understand what I think people who don't do development don't quite get, which is that humans are very much needed to do the problem solving. AI writes code. It is a good strategic tool also, but AI writes code. It's not a problem solver. It doesn't understand your organization's business needs or strategy. Humans do that, not AI. It's a strategic partner. It can help you define things. It can teach you a process. It can help you implement a process. But only you know your business and you know who your user or who your customers or who your audience is. AI doesn't know that. Give me a break. Terry Murray is here. Welcome, Terry. We're so happy to have you. Malik says, I've seen too many AI animal videos that are well hidden with dark lighting. Yeah, there's weird. It's sad to me because I think that there are videos like that that are actually kind of cool if they're real. But yeah, the AI slot videos are just a little too slick, right? No one is here. Hello, how are you all? I'm doing well. I feel like it seems like we've got a good chat today. This really helps my mood. This helps me feel like a little less cranky. So thank you for that. Okay, do me a favor. If you haven't yet, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. We're a fun bunch. We just like to sit around and talk about vanilla HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and we just practice here. That's it. We just practice. We're not in denial about libraries and frameworks. We understand the real use of AI. We think it's an incredible tool, but it doesn't replace human beings who actually know how to do the work. And that's what we do here. We actually do the work. So, okay, so last night I stayed up. I was up for hours. This took me a really long time, but I did get all of the instructions written for the responsive video gallery. How's the stream health? Looks like it's okay today. And it took a long time. I erred on the side of less of this. So less like paragraphs of text, right? And more clean code with comments explaining what things are. So I'm making assumptions about the user of the responsive video gallery, which is that, yes, they may be new, but they are experienced enough to know that they need a solution and they don't want to do it themselves. And with clear code that is well commented, this is something that they could copy and paste and implement quickly. If I get feedback after launching this that people feel like they need more written instructions on implementation, they need better explanations of what this code does, I will happily do that. But I've decided that well commented, cleanly written code is the best way to present this information. So that is how I've framed this. We also need to do some, like this is a paragraph and we remove the margins from the top. So we just need to do some QA in terms of like looking at spacing and things like that. Yeah, so this is what I decided to do. This is how I decided to present this. And I know from version 1 of Responsive Video Gallery, which has been live now for 12 years, that when people find errors, typos, mistakes, or they have questions because of clarity, they are more than happy to reach out to me and let me know if something needs to be changed. It's an open source project, so I have gotten pull requests on the first version of this. So yeah, so this is where I'm at. But when I tell you that this took hours to format and get in here, it took hours. So here are the written instructions on the website itself, and then I basically mirrored this for the README. So I feel pretty good about this. Yeah, well, I'm going to see what people think and see what the feedback is. I think there are things in this repository that don't need to be here. So we're going to do a little bit of cleanup today. We don't need this gray box. I'll keep the videos.json in, even though we're not really using that. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I did also make some Vimeo videos. Here's the other thing. This is going to change by the end of the day, this gallery of videos. This feels chaotic to me. It feels like a huge distraction from the purpose of this open source project, which is to provide a quick, easy UI solution that works. And having all of these colorful, bright thumbnails in here, these work for YouTube, in theory, but I don't think that they match the vibe or the aesthetic of this project. So by the end of the day, I'm going to have shorter videos, 20 to 30 seconds, with more of like a B-roll kind of vibe, aesthetic, calm. And I think it's going to match the vibe of the design and sort of this minimal gallery design. So this is all going to change at the end of the day. But I do have 2 videos uploaded to Vimeo, so we can at least finish the Vimeo implementation part of the dialogue. So there's that. Okay, so we have some comments. One question to calm the crankiness or more it more cranky, why we call it vanilla JS and not chocolate JS when chocolate is the basis of everything. I think you're trying to make a joke because I said I was cranky, so I'll accept that. We call it vanilla because vanilla is plain. That's why. I think that's why we call it vanilla. So I think this is a rhetorical question meant to lighten the mood because I said I was cranky. So don't worry, I'm okay. I'm okay, but thank you. Hello, welcome, Terry Murray. Also welcome. Also, welcome me on your live after a very long time. So yes, I do recognize your name, although YouTube switched the names from display names to usernames. So if your username doesn't somewhat match a previous display name, don't forgive me if I don't remember everybody. So at the end about AI, I can say this: humans have emotion and AI doesn't. Yeah, totally agree. AI tries to have emotion, but it doesn't. And Rahul said AI was trained using real human codes from Stack Overflow and GitHub. In the future, AI will train on AI codes. Think about that. Oh yeah, I have thought about that, and that's that's why we need to keep showing up and doing things like what I'm doing here. In my opinion, I think humans need to continue showing up, doing things from scratch, so that doesn't happen. So real code is hiding behind private repositories. Yeah, there's that too. And Reddit. Yep, I agree. Also Reddit. So I have posted on Stack Overflow, well, once that I can think of, when I was desperate. I was working on a WordPress theme. It wasn't a theme that I had built from scratch. I think I had been contracted to build out parts of the theme. and I was really stuck on how to do something. I don't remember what exactly. And I remember spending hours on Stack Overflow. I mean, I spent hours of my life on Stack Overflow. So this wasn't a unique situation, but it was one of the few times that I actually couldn't find an answer to my problem. And I had to post my problem on Stack Overflow. And I was terrified. I was actually fine if I got hate because I didn't ask my question correctly or with enough context. What I was terrified of is that nobody would help me because they would just dogpile on me for not asking the question correctly. And sure enough, I went to bed and I woke up the next morning and some very kind person answered my question and told me exactly what to do. And I was so relieved. And I'm just so glad that those days are over. So, and I'll be honest, I avoid Reddit. Reddit and Discord. I mean, I'm not immune to wasting time on Reddit just reading things, but I don't really post on Reddit. And I think that Reddit and nobody brought up Discord, but I'll bring up Discord. I think that those are just like two kind of toxic places and I avoid them. So that's just me. So, because I'm just trying to protect my mental health. Okay, well, a whole bunch of information that nobody asked for. So let's go ahead and implement these Vimeo videos, which, by the way, I cannot get Vimeo to work correctly in Chrome. I can log into Vimeo, I can upload the videos, but I can't do anything. I can't change the title. I can't add a description. I can't change the thumbnail. I can't do anything in Chrome. So I had to log in on Firefox. So I don't know why Vimeo doesn't work correctly with Chrome. If it's just me, I have no idea. This is just my experience this morning. And these are just simple videos, B-roll from when I was vlogging this summer. So, and I think that this is a much better approach. This type of short aesthetic, inconsequential video for this gallery than the bright, colorful videos I have in now. Just, yeah, doesn't take away from what we're trying to do with the video. So, okay, let's go back to our code. I actually grabbed an iframe last night for Vimeo. So let's, not all that different, but wait till we get to the thumbnail. That's where the real kicker is. So yeah, so we're creating the iframe element. We're checking the type. If it's YouTube, we build this iframe. If it's Vimeo, we build this iframe. So easy peasy. So we will set the attribute. We will set a title first. Yes, title. And then the source. And here is our player. I'm not going to take anything. I'm not going to take anything on that endpoint because that's just, I feel like this is just some sort of timestamp. I don't think we need that. And then we'll go ahead and put in our ID. These need to be backticks. What else do we have here? I'm going to leave out the width and the height. Frame border. Whoops. Refer policy. This is This is like identical to YouTube, except for the source. Okay, let's see here. Strict origin, when cross origin. Allow autoplay. Full screen, hang on. Autoplay, picture, clipboard right, encrypted media. This is the only thing that isn't there. Picture in picture. Interesting. Okay, well, I know that my JavaScript could use some refactoring, so I'm going to continue with my plan here, but there's clearly going to be an opportunity to improve this in the future, so I'm not going to worry about it now. But that is an interesting observation. Refer policy. No, wait a second. Allow. Hang on, I got this wrong. Oh, wait a second. This is different. The referrer policy is all of these things. No, wait a second. I did this wrong. Hang on. Okay. And then allow. Here we go. And then allow full screen. And I think that's it. So we got title, source. I'm leaving out the width and the height, frame border, refer policy, allow, and allow full screen. All right. I think that's it. I mean, this makes using Vimeo really trivial. So now let's get this in. Let's just randomly put this in to a couple of slots. I'm going to do this. So here's kind of the tricky part about finding a thumbnail. This is not straightforward on Vimeo. It's not like YouTube where they have a sort of a standardized set of thumbnail URLs and you can just swap out the ID. There are third-party apps where you can plug in a video and it will scrape the source code and find the thumbnail URL and give you a shortened URL. Since this is a vanilla project, I choose not to do that. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. Let's see here. I'm going to do share. I'm going to copy the link. And I'm just going to go like this. And then I'm just going to view the page source. And I'm going to look for the open graph image right there. So hopefully you can see this. This is the easiest way to do this, in my opinion. Just look for the meta property open graph image. And this is the URL of the thumbnail right here. And we can even look at this in its own tab. So there's the URL of the thumbnail. So it's not obvious. This is just how Vimeo does it. I did put here examples of thumbnails, and I just put in a comment here that says the Vimeo thumbnail source is embedded in the page source code. Right click on the Vimeo page and view page source. Search for an open graph image meta tag to find the thumbnail. So that's that. But I like this a lot better than using a third-party app to build a thumbnail. So there's our thumbnail. Okay. Oops, stop. Here's our video URL. Here's our video URL. So there's our ID. So I'm going to copy this again. Whoops. Copy. Why does it put all this endpoint stuff on here? I don't need this. I didn't ask for this. Just give me the ID. And Vimeo. And what's the name? Okay, just this is High Street Bridge. And our alt text. All right, here goes nothing. Here it is. Trivial. It's wild to me. Trivial. I'm so happy. I think this style of thumbnail is going to be so much nicer and calmer and a little more aesthetic, right? So happy with this. So, and Malik is asking, how do you think the sprint went? And are you thinking of doing more in the future? Well, that's a good question. I think the sprint went great. Look at how much we got done in such a short amount of time. I could not be more pleased with this project and getting this project done, just because it was my first open source project ever. It was meant to be open source and like really helpful for somebody who wanted to build a video gallery like me. I'm thrilled. Will I do more sprints in the future? Probably. Starting next week, I will also be streaming on Tuesday and Thursday morning. So same time, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, same amount of time. I generally stream for about 2 to 2.5 hours. It seems obvious now that I decided to do it. When I stream, I get so many subscribers. Now, I'm a very small channel, so that's a relative number to me. On a bad day, it's maybe 5 to 10 new subscribers at the end of a stream. On a really, really good day, sometimes I end a stream and I've got 50 or 60 new subscribers. And when I take breaks, like I did in December, where I was only streaming on the weekends and I wasn't doing any content during the week, no project videos, no shorts, no nothing, I was still getting subscribers, like maybe 10, 15, 20 subscribers every stream. Now that I've done this 5-day sprint, I've gotten like 125 new subscribers in the last week. I mean, it is very clear. I keep saying to myself, the YouTube algorithm will figure out what to do with me. I think the YouTube algorithm knows exactly what to do with me. The problem is that I'm not streaming enough. I'm not doing enough content. I hate making tutorials. I like making project videos, but my project videos are hours long. I think that they're great and that's great content, but they take like I have to literally stream for a month in order to have enough content to make those project videos. So they take a long time. I can't just churn those out, right? But they do bring me subscribers and really good watch time, those project videos. So I think the key is to show up more and do more streaming. I have awesome people in the chat. I have great engagement. I can't even believe that I have mods who show up every single stream to support me and to like kind of watch my back. Malik, I'm looking at you. I mean, Rahul, you've been here for the last 5 days, but Malik, you are here every single time. Every single time. You will never know how much I appreciate that. I love Emilio. I love Monique. I love No One. No One is one of our newest mods. He found me here in this fall, I think in September or October. I love all you guys, and my mind is like blown that I have mods who come to hang out in the chat and like keep an eye on things. So I know you asked such a simple question, but it seems obvious now for 2026 that I should be streaming more. I don't know if I want to regularly do 5 days in a row, but I think I've already developed the habit of streaming on Saturdays and Sundays. That is just like part of my routine now. It seems natural to me to add Tuesdays and Thursdays just to keep the algorithm warm, to keep my channel warm. I think of how much quicker I'm going to blow through these projects, adding 2 additional days per week. I already think that I get projects completed and deployed pretty quickly just from doing Saturdays and Sundays. Imagine doubling that every week. So this was a great experiment and I have no regrets. This is probably so much more than you wanted to know, but yeah. Can you perhaps make the background a bit darker when the modal is opened for the video? Well, let's see here. I'm open to it. Let's see what it is now. I don't remember what it is now. So our backdrop is 75%. Let's try 85%. What do you think? I don't want it to be too dark. So this is 85%. Tell me what you think. Gogo Elmo says, I think the sprints are nice to keep doing, and that is a good suggestion, giving the modal window a backdrop over the content to make it pop more. Rahul likes food vlogs. I appreciate that, but nobody watches them. You're the only one who watches them, Rahul. Maybe Malik watches them, but nobody really watches them. Maybe you can create mini project videos during the year, keep it and post them over 2 weeks during December. Yeah, I mean, are you talking about the project videos like the project videos that I make are, so this is a good example right here. This video is 8 hours and 46 minutes long. It is a month of streaming that I edited into one project video where I edited out the chat or like this type of talking. So it's a very focused project video. And if I'm doubling my streaming time, I should be able to make 1 or 2 of these per month to go along with my streams. So I also started doing deployment content, which I love. Not popular, not deploying to a LAMP stack with rsync and FileZilla. You're going to be shocked to find out that that's not a viral video. But this is great content that I'm really, really proud of. So I will be doing more of these deployment style project videos as well. Well, I'm glad that you guys liked them. I'm open to doing them again, but I just need a much bigger audience, and I need to know that people are actually going to watch them because they're high effort, low reward, and I don't have time to spend on things that people don't watch. I already spend so much time on things that people don't watch. So, since long form content is on the decline for programming and in general, you can see an uptick from those of us that don't want 60-second videos. Oh, I 100% believe in my project videos. Don't get me wrong. I the feedback that I get from these types of project videos are the reason that I do them, because I know that when I was a self-taught developer and I was learning, Chris Coyer in particular on CSS Tricks, he rebuilt CSS Tricks and he created a back end to CSS Tricks called The Lodge. And he filmed hundreds of hours of him rebuilding that site. And it was literally him just doing project style videos. And that is how I learned to be a developer, from that type of content. And that's what's missing in front end development, in all development. And I 100% believe in this type of content. And the fact that I can stream the process, grow an audience, engage in real time with the people who are watching me, and then take those videos and edit them into project videos, it's like, it's win-win-win. It's such a beautiful process. And I know that as my audience grows, these types of videos will continue to get more popular. So, it's a process, YouTube, right? Just growing an audience and catching the right attention and having the algorithm pick you up. It's happening. It's slow, but it's happening. And in the meantime, I get to build this incredible library of content. So I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. So, and Ka is saying maybe 80%. Okay, let's try 80%. I think this is fine too. And you know what, Ka? I will make sure that this is deployed today. So if you want to fork this repository and play with the backdrop, you definitely can. So let's get our other video in there, our other Vimeo video in there, and then let's do some QA. Because at this point, I want to clean up what we have going on with our light and our dark, and make sure that this looks okay on mobile, and then work on some of our spacing issues, and then make sure that we can get this deployed using FileZilla. And Malik says, I like having a backstock of videos you can schedule to post to keep the activity going on your channel. Well, I do too. Would you like to make all those videos for me? do This is an excellent theory. This is an excellent theory. And when I have time to create a backstock to schedule, I will do so. But I like the thinking. I like where you're going with that. So, okay. I don't think people realize how long it takes to edit all this stuff. It takes a long time. It takes a while. So, and it's exhausting. It's just exhausting. I mean, I do genuinely enjoy it. I really, really do. It's exhausting. The editing in particular takes a really long time. Oh, I was commenting on Ka's comment. Okay, I apologize. I misunderstood. So, okay. And Entertainment is here. He says, hello, I've been waiting for your live stream. Well, we've been here for about 40 minutes. Where have you been? Where have you been, my friend? We're always here. We're always here. And we're happy that you're here as well. So, okay, let's get this in. We'll copy the link. I'm going to put this right here. Ugh, enough with the endpoints. Just give me the ID. Okay, and then let's find our image. Nope, wrong one. So OG image content right here. OG is Open Graph. We haven't really done anything with Open Graph on this channel, but we could if people want to. And here we go. Oh, let's make sure that we have the correct title. There we go. She's so cute. I love my little Heidi. Okay. All right, Vimeo works. Excellent. So I'm going to be replacing all of these videos today. I'm going to do a few more Vimeo videos. I'm going to add some to YouTube, but I'm going to take out these project videos and just try to make it like way more aesthetic and a little bit more, not, it just feels busy and chaotic to have all of these project videos here. So I think this is a much better approach. So, okay. Let's go ahead. We know that that works. So, yay. I'm going to close this. We don't need you anymore, Firefox. Okay. So what's the next thing on our list? I don't think we need this anymore. I'm going to take this out. Don't need these comments anymore. And where is our QA list? Okay, this is done. Add a README file, that's done. Write the content, that is done. Let's finish up our dark light, because I did a little browsing on Pinterest yesterday. Let me see here if I can even pull up. Because I was struggling with some of the different colors. And also somebody made the suggestion, which I actually think is a pretty good suggestion. Instead of light and dark, maybe a sun and a moon. I like that. Ion, in fact, let's just do it. And then also, I think we need to switch this so the entire thing is a button and not just this circle. So let's just adjust some of our markup. And instead of light and dark, we can go ahead and add SVGs. I like that idea. Okay. So here's the sun. Here's the moon. And these SVGs do not need to be clicked on. They're not part of the button. They're not, they're purely aesthetic. So I'm not worried about contrast, color contrast. Color contrast is a concern for a UI element that requires user action. And this is purely, these are going to be purely decorative. So the other thing that I thought was really helpful here, I think this is such a good example of, first of all, I love this purple because I think we should do something here. So maybe we could make this as gray when it's light, and then when you switch it, this background turns to purple, right? And I kind of like this purple, although we do have a purple. Don't we have a purple? Yeah, but it's more of like a maroon or kind of a raspberry red color. We could try it. We could try it though. I mean, it is accessible. And then I think this dark gray is also accessible for the white, right? Should we try it with what we already have? Also, these two shades right here. So I don't know what. I just found this very helpful. These different shades of black, because on the light version, the difference between the white and the gray is trivial, right? It's not something that is needs to be accessible. The only accessibility concern is that the text over top of it meets a color contrast ratio, right? But the color itself can be subtle. So looking at Pinterest yesterday and seeing these subtle colors was like, oh, the gray doesn't have to have that much contrast next to the black. It just needs to be a subtle change. So can I don't have a color picker, so let's just save this image. I'm going to save it to my desktop. And let's see here. Let's just color pick some of these colors. So these seem kind of blue to me, which is completely fine. Let's see here. What is this? It is kind of bluish. And we tried the navy. The navy didn't look quite right, which is totally fine. So we've got navy, dark gray. Let's just try dark blue. So let's see. So here's dark. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't know if it is exactly what I was thinking. There's also this right here. Let's try this. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe for dark mode to work, do we need to use a different black? Or am I overthinking this? Where are you? Oh, here we go. I don't know. I do kind of like this purple for the button. So since we're not using the other purple, I'm just going to switch it. And then let's make sure so if we were to switch our dark mode colors, what would we have to change? So dark mode. So there would be the body, the gray section, the header. So that's 3 things. So the buttons, okay. And the navigation. So it's like 6 things. What do we think? Honestly think it should, maybe if the goal is subtle, maybe instead of these blue leaning, if our black is 222, maybe the subtle shift is 000 or 333, right? Let's try that. Dark black. So this would be a shift lighter. I immediately like this better. We could even adjust it a little bit. So we could say 2 3 2 3 2 3. Whoops. That is a little too subtle. I bet you guys can't even see it. I can barely see it. I'm inclined to go with this. And Wilka is saying, is Lucide an okay library? Honestly, I don't know. Sure, why not? I use Ionicons. That's just what I use. This looks okay. Yeah. And Malik is saying those dark backgrounds with the white on top makes the actual code part kind of annoying to look at. Maybe my eyes, though. May just be my eyes, though. Yeah, I don't have the bandwidth today to do a dark version of the code, but I can see what you're saying. Um, I I'm gonna go with this. I'm gonna go with this. This is acceptable to me for this subtle change. And you know what? It's a website, it's a living, breathing thing. It'll change over time. I'm sure I'll make changes. Let's go ahead and work on this button. And I'm going to change this back to what it was yesterday, which is that. Okay. So let's find our button. I'm going to take this off of the buttons because I don't, well, we don't, I'm going to take that off because we don't need to change that anymore. The other thing that I was going to do is I want this scroll point to come first. So when we scroll back up, we're not hiding it. And then we're going to put our SVGs here. So we'll go sunny first. And then we'll go moon. Oh, here's the other thing that I wanted to do. Toggle dark mode. When this is toggled and it is dark, let's update this text to say toggle light mode. I just feel like that's something that we need to do. So if this is on dark mode, don't we want the label to be updated to reflect that? That's what I'm thinking. I'm also going to take out anything that has a class of Ionicon in the entire document because I don't use those classes and I don't think that they need to be here. So there's that. And then let's add aria hidden true. It's not a UI element. It's not something that requires action. It's purely decorative. So it doesn't need to be in a button. Look at that. I mean, our global styles do a really good job supporting things. There's not that much to do here. So, okay. So let's make sure, let's make our sun sunny and our moon. Should we get, hang on, should we get different versions of the sun and moon? I think we should get the filled versions. Yeah. So let's replace these. right, let's see how this looks. I like that better. We obviously need to change the colors. So I think we should just make the sun yellow and the moon purple, and then we can switch the background colors. And I'm not going to change the navy blue. I have declared. Okay, so we don't need a font weight anymore. And I'm just going to say light SVG. And we're going to go fill. Do we have a yellow? We don't really have a yellow. Let's check our, do we have a yellow here? We have an orange. Let's do this. Yellow hex codes. Look at that. How about something bright? Does it need more contrast, do you think? I mean, it's not a user element, but let's get our purple in there. So we have now our dark SVG. Fill. No, just fill. Purple. And then let's make this a variable. Ooh, I like it. Whoops, what did I do? Okay. So I think we also have some light SV. Why did it change? Okay, so we have some other colors we have to deal with here. Oh, because dark is our body class. That's why. Okay, so let's just do just say light SVG and dark SVG. We don't need these. I like it. It's a little pop of color, right? Okay, let's work on our markup. So right now, the button, I think that, so we have a wrap, which we need. I think we just switch these two. So the dark mode container is a button. And this is a div. And then we will put the ARIA label up here on the button. Yes? So that means we have to do the transition on the container and not on the div. That's fine. We can do that. I think it's up here. So, and that probably means we need to change the click of, we just need to change the class on the click event also. Because now we're clicking on the dark mode container. So the transition is the same. There we go. Now let's, so how do we want to deal with our buttons? Let's see here. There's some other really good examples here. I think I was kind of looking at this right here. I mean, we could do the yellow. Let's try it. Let's see what, this is already going faster than I thought it would, so. I think this is really cute. I like it. And Malik says, maybe I maybe just am so used to always using dark mode. Anything bright attacks my eyes. I never use dark mode. So this is completely foreign to me. I never use dark mode ever. A yellow purple drop shadow on the black icons would also give a subtle pop of color. On these icons up here, do you mean the social media icons? Or do you mean the sun and the moon icons? So I can't give a shadow. So here's, yeah, that's a good, you're pointing out something interesting here. So I've actually tried to do this before. So here's the icon. The icon is a square. And unfortunately, on the toggle, you mean you think a text shadow on the toggle would be good? A yellow-purple drop shadow on the black icons would also give a subtle pop of color. I'm still not sure. Do you mean a shadow on the toggle itself or on these icons? Let's add the background. Let's add the background colors here. So here's the container. The background color is white. I kind of want to make it yellow, even though I'm not sure if that's going to work. And then the toggle icons. Okay. So the icons are actually a square. Even the path is a square. So if we put a shadow on the icon, so if we put a shadow on the icon, the shadow is actually going to be on the square and not the shape itself. I've tried this before. I wish that I could put drop shadows on icons, but I can't, not SVGs at least. If your icons were like PNGs or something like that, GIFs, yeah, it doesn't work on the shape itself. It puts it on the container. The SVG is kind of like the container that holds the shape. Even the path though is still like a square and not the shape itself. So I wish we could do that. And believe me, I've tried to do that before in the past and it doesn't quite work. It would be awesome if it did though. Yeah, and Caffeine Cowboy says, not sure how that works on SVG elements over images with SVG source. And that's also a good point. I know that people use image source to pull in their SVGs. I do not do that. I don't think you're ever going to see me do that because anytime you have an image, even if you're referencing an image from within your files, that is still an HTTP request on the server. And SVGs can be embedded. SVGs are XML content, or XML markup rather. They can be embedded directly in the document and you don't have any additional resources. Let's go to the network. And always disable cache. And look at how small and tidy this is, how few resources that we have. We're already pulling in thumbnails from YouTube, which is fine because YouTube does an excellent job optimizing their thumbnails. Interestingly enough, I might need to do a better job optimizing my Vimeo thumbnails because these are quite a bit bigger, but we're still talking about kilobytes. If you add your SVGs as images, that's an extra resource. Those are extra calls to the server. And my personal preference is to keep those requests as small as possible for performance. And with SVGs, you can embed these directly into your document. So that's my preferred way of doing it. No, this is incorrect. Wait, it should still with the drop shadow because it takes the content of the SVG, not the container. I don't think so. Let's try it. We can do it right here. So here's our dark SVG. Box shadow, 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 1 pixel, 1 pixel. So XY 1 pixel, blur spread 1 pixel. It puts it on the container, not on the shape. And there's no text, so I don't think text shadow is going to work. Yeah, there's no text, so text shadow doesn't work. Yeah, box shadow puts it on the box, on the container, not on the shape itself. So I know that's a bummer. Believe me, I've tried that before in the past. Doesn't work, unfortunately. So, but listen, I really like this. What are you talking about? Drop shadow. That's box shadow, not drop shadow. Hang on. Okay. Drop shadow. So this is part of the filter property. I didn't know about this. Hang on. What is this? Drop shadow. Okay, what are the... So we've got the length. Okay, hang on. So it's a filter, drop shadow. Okay. Filter, drop shadow. Oh. I didn't know about this. I've never even heard of this before. Hmm. Hmm. All right, well, I learned something new. Okay, that's box shadow, not drop shadow. Yes, not back shadow, but filter. Um, hmm. Well, first of all, clearly I'm learning something new today. I didn't even know the drop shadow existed. I can think of many times where I would have liked to use that. Um, I don't, I'll just be honest, I don't know if I like it. I don't use a ton of box shadows. I use a little bit of box shadow sometimes. Like I have box shadow right here on the header, and I have box shadow on the navigation when we're in dark mode. I don't know if I feel like we need this, although it could help with the sun. Um, can we RGBA this? So 0, 0, 0, 0.1. Does it let us do that? No. So that does appear to work. No, that doesn't appear to work. So we don't need RGBA. Oh, we do have RGBA. Oh, there it is. There it is. Um, boy, it really has to be dark. Yeah, I just don't know if I like it is all. Okay, that's a little better. I think I like that. I don't like a huge blur or spread. But that does really help it stand off the page a little bit. I would do it with black. I wouldn't do it with a color. And the sun could actually really use that. So let's do this. Let's see here. Oh, and that's also our yellow. Hang on, I don't like that. Background color. Just do gray. I don't think that gray is dark enough. Oh my God. I don't think we have any problems with contrast here. I think, hang on, we need to adjust this a little bit. It just doesn't work quite the way that I'm used to, but that's okay. don't like how it looks on that sun because it's shifting it. I don't like the blur. I don't like that extra blur. And that shadow is, I think that's okay where we had it originally. It works great on the moon. I think from a distance it helps. Emilio's here. Yay! Hello, welcome. How are you doing? Are we distracting you from work? And Caffeine Cowboy says slow reply typing with on-screen keyboard, maybe black icon and color shadow when selected. I know I won't like that. I don't want it to be black icons. I like the color. So I'm going to stick with that. And Malik says, I see what you mean. Just having the drop shadow in dark mode. I see what you mean, Cowboy. So I can't tell if the filter, I don't think the filter makes a difference in dark mode. I think the filter for sure makes a difference in light mode. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a huge difference. Just turning it on and off. Maybe, you know what? Maybe the color, yeah, maybe the color, the yellow color as a shadow would be a lot more impactful. $255, $223, 0. $255, $223. Well, I like the yellow as a shadow, and I like the black as a shadow on this. So that's what I'm going to go with. And then let's make sure that when we transition this, we have the, I'm going to leave this as white for light, but when it's on dark mode, this background's going to be purple. So we have, let's just make sure that this is white. And then this will be purple. I think we also want to transition this. And we're transitioning the background color. 300 milliseconds. I'm going to say ease in out. Wait a second. I think we should also transform just the border. Should we also transform the button and the border? God, I think we should. And then We'll transition this as well. I don't know. Okay. We'll stick with what we had. You know what? It might be something that I just have to figure out on my own because I didn't plan this. I didn't do any styles or designs, and clearly there's more to it than I thought there would be. But I do kind of like it the way it is. It's a little pop of color up in the corner. So we're gonna go with this. And I'm sure that I'll come up with an idea, or I will find a design that I like and we'll figure it out. I will be making changes. So, and then desktop wise, I'm happy with all of this. I filled in all of the social media icons. I changed the navigation to go directly to this GitHub repository, but I have this GitHub going just to my profile. So I'm good with that. So let's just make sure that this is looking okay on mobile, and then we're going to deploy. We're an hour and a half in, it's time to deploy. So I think that the solution here for this is to just center this for mobile, and then we will work on we're going to deploy. So that's going, so once I center this, we're just going to deploy. We'll take a look on mobile, and then we'll adjust some spacing, and then we're not going to worry about it. It's a work in progress. So here's our wrap. I think for mobile, we just want to change this to center. Yeah, I think that's all we need to do. And then of course we need to adjust a lot of spacing and things, but I'm not even worried about that. So here's our wrap. And I'm just going to put a media query down here at the bottom. And we're just going to change the justify content. I like it. I think it's cute. And Rayhan is here. Hello, welcome. And Amelia says, no, I don't know what work is. Monique is here. Hello, Monique. We have all the mods here today. Wow. Okay, let's go ahead and deploy. Let's get the FileZilla. Give me one moment here while I pull it up. So I am not going to show FileZilla because it's my production server, and it has some other things on it that I don't want to show in a live stream. So I'm going to do this right here, right now, and then we will go to the URL. So let's just pull up the URL. Responsive video gallery. So we should be able to refresh. Let's see here. It's not letting me delete, which I suppose is good. I don't have the correct permissions. Okay, let's just log in. Give me a moment here, and I'm going to log into the server. Oh, you know why? I did not set this up the way I set this server up back in July, and I've changed my process. That's why. So you know what? That's actually completely fine. I can just launch this way. All right. Well, I just deleted everything, so okay, what do we need to exclude from this? So we're definitely R-syncing. Here's responsive video gallery. So we want to exclude qa.md. You know what though? I can just delete those. Okay. Oh, yeah. I can see why you would deny that. no, you're empty. Okay. Well, this must be really fun for you guys, huh? Hang on. We're so close. Some files could not be transferred. Why? Okay, let's try this. Okay, so there's something wrong with my permissions. But that's okay because I've got instructions. I wrote instructions on how to do this, didn't I? So that's why soft launches are a good thing. Let's see here. Here's our DevOps repository. I think I just need to reset the permissions. So copy the, yeah, we got that. Disable, reconnect as the new user, add sudo user. We did this. Fix the permissions right here. If you want to make sure all future files keep that group, then we do this. And then oh, we did it. We fixed it. Okay, good. It was just permissions. All right. One moment. We're almost there. We just need these three things. We need our CSS, our JavaScript, and our index.html. I think that's it. All right, are we ready? Oh, I hope it works. Here we go. There we go. We're deployed. What do we think? Responsivevideogallery.com. Tell me if you can see it on your end. Link works. Let's make sure some of our videos work. Yep, that works. Vimeo works.
Hey everyone, today we are going to build this one page.
Yep, everything's working. So I plan to keep working on things today. So I've got more things that I want to do. Let's see here. Let me log out of FileZilla and out of the terminal. I'm going to continue to, I'm going to make some new videos out of the B-roll that I've been collecting. So I'm going to do that today. I'm probably going to be refining content as well. Let's make our last order of business to just work on some of the spacing issues. And there aren't that many, but there are a few. Let's also go ahead and deploy up to GitHub. And it's important to remember that when you use rsync or FileZilla, that's independent of your GitHub repository, right? So make sure that when you're deploying to your server via rsync, anything that's not directly related to your GitHub, which is, by the way, that's perfectly fine to deploy that way. Just make sure that you're following best practices. You have redundant backups. You always have a way to restore things, and the way that you have a way to restore things is by making sure that you're still pushing to your GitHub, that you have your local copy and you have your repository copy. Let's see here. So let's go ahead and push the work that we just did. I always check the status first. And we were updating dark mode buttons. I also have spent some time this week sort of strategizing and planning for the pro version of responsive video gallery, basically the paid version that I'm going to sell on Gumroad. So expect that this is going to continue to be updated and get improvements over the next couple of weeks, but I expect to have my paid version and layouts ready for sale in the next couple of weeks. So I'll let you guys know when I do that. I'll probably record a separate video just on the implementation and post it to my channel, because why not? And then, yeah, I don't know. I love it. So, okay. Well, let's make sure that we're not debugging on the live version. Let's go back to our local copy and just work on some of the spacing. Okay. So right away, we've got this section. I'm just going to remove the padding from the gallery section on the top. So here is our gallery section. And our default padding for all sections is 3 rems on top and bottom, 1 rem on the left and right. And I think we said we wanted to add just a tiny bit extra padding on the bottom. But for this, we're going to say 0. We're going to say 0 on top. We'll stick with 1 rem on the left and right, and then 3.5 rems on the bottom. So here's how that looks. I actually think that looks pretty good. So we're still nice and tight up here. Let's see how this looks on mobile. So on mobile, we definitely need to adjust this. So here's our wrap. Let's make sure, well, I think we need to adjust the page title margin as well. And then I think we need to add padding to the bottom of the button on mobile. So let's deal with this first. So I think we can change this to 1 rem on the bottom. So we'll add that to our media query. I think it's just, what is it? Gallery section H2. Section H2. And then let's go down to our wrap, which is right here. And we know that we already have a media query for this. So we'll just change the padding to be 1 rem all the way around. So there's our mobile. It's a little boring to just center justify everything on mobile, but until I come up with a better idea, this is what we're going with. And Emilio is going back to work. So you are at work, Emilio. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for stopping in to hang out with us. Okay, so the other thing that we need to do is adjust our paragraphs, and we've kind of tinkered with the paragraphs in the past. I think at one point we had global styles, and then I took them out, and I think I put them in the section, content section, right here. So instead of just doing margin on the bottom, we obviously need to have what if we just do 1 rem on the top and bottom? That evened that out. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yep, that was all we needed to do. Isn't that the default style though? So if we just take that out, isn't that just the default style? Yes. Yep, so there's it might be a little more than 1 rem, but the user agent style sheet is margin on the top, margin on the bottom. So let's just take this out. We don't need to duplicate styles that already exist by default. I think this spacing is okay. I think this looks good. This scrolls, totally fine with that. I think this looks just fine. So, okay, let's push to GitHub again, and then we'll do another, I'll deploy the CSS changes on FileZilla. So we'll do GitHub first. QA the padding and margin. All right, so we pushed our changes to GitHub. I'm gonna go back to FileZilla. Yep, and our padding and our spacing all look good. All right, let's QA on our mobile device. Yes, one moment. Okay, let's see. All right, here it is. What do we think? Oh, and I do need to adjust how the video looks. Yeah, you know what? It's just not going to get done today. It's just, it has to, there's always going to be a backlog of things that you need to do or that you need to work on. How this looks right now has no impact on functionality. We still have an accessible tap target button so we can close the video. Um, I agree that we need to work on like some spacing or adjustment or alignment. It's not a priority today. It's not a priority today. Right now, what's important is that everything works. And everything is working, and I could not be happier. And I just can't, I'm just so happy that I decided to keep the Vimeo support. That is the thing that makes me the happiest is having the Vimeo support. So what I'm gonna be doing for the rest of the day today is I really like our little sun and moon too. What I'm going to be doing for the rest of the day today is going through all my B-roll from this summer, and I'm going to make more videos. I made these 2 videos this morning in like less than 30 minutes. So I'm going to make more videos today just to sort of match the aesthetic and the vibe of the site overall. And I'm going to put 6 on Vimeo and 6 on YouTube and do some thumbnails, and then I'm going to call it a day. And over the next 2 weeks, as I work on the pro version of responsive video gallery, which I have 4 more layouts planned, plus additional JavaScript to parse a URL, plus a couple other things. As I work on the pro version, I expect that I will be updating content, updating instructions. Maybe I'll make a PDF of instructions, more detailed instructions. I don't know. I have lots of ideas, but you can expect small changes and revisions to happen over the next couple of weeks. So that's that. Good work. Thank you. Good work on the sprint. Lots of good work done. Yeah, I'm thrilled. Looks great. Thank you. Rahul, you were very helpful with the JavaScript and pointing things out. And then today, how did I not know about drop shadow? I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I don't know every CSS property and selector in existence. This is what's so great about the chat is you guys tell me about things that I don't know about. How can I know about everything? It's not possible. It's just not possible. Yeah, I love this. So, I'll be back on Saturday this weekend with a new project. I really, really want to do a landing page for, let's see here, let's go back here. I would like to do a landing page practicelayouts.com. I don't have anything ready to go for this. And there's only 2 days left before the next stream. I don't know if I'm going to have this ready to go by Saturday. So as much as I want to do this next, and I said I was going to do this next, if I don't have time to prepare anything, we can't work on this next. So the next project might be another landing page mock-up from my collection, because I can just grab those. I don't have to do a lot of prep work. And I've just been busy with a lot of personal business the last few weeks. And I'm getting back into YouTube and getting back. I have I have hours. I bet I have 100 hours of editing to do. I have so much editing to do. I am really, really behind on that. So yeah, I'm getting back into it. So I don't know what we're going to be doing on Saturday. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I have no idea. We'll find out together on Saturday. But rest assured, I will be here on Saturday, and we will be starting a new project. So there's that. And then starting the following week, Tuesday and Thursday, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time, is the new schedule, 4 days a week, which I'm pretty excited about. Thank you, everybody who hung out with me today. All the mods were here. Monique, Emilio, No One, Gogo Elmo, and Rahul. You guys are amazing. I love you. Caffeine Cowboy was here. Thank you so much, Caffeine Cowboy, for hanging out. Rayhan was here. Let's see who else was here. Ka was here. Entertainment was here. I know there was somebody else. Terry Murray was here. Rayhilb was here. Yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you are. Come back on Saturday. We'll start a new project, because this is just about practicing. It's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to enjoy it. We're supposed to learn new things, and we're supposed to just be improving our skills. That's what this is all about. So, all right, do me a favor, like the video if you haven't already, subscribe if you haven't already. Helps the algorithm, helps push this out to more people who might be interested in this type of content. And I think there's great things coming in 2026. So, all right, everybody, bye-bye. Bye-bye.